Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday lunchtime webinar. I'm just going to wait for a few minutes to get everyone to join us, because it always takes a few minutes just for everybody to join. I'm just looking at the numbers at the bottom of my screen. We should have nearly 250 people or members join us today, which is fantastic. It'd be interesting how many do remember. I think we're up to 64 at the moment. And let me just give it a couple more seconds, and we will start. As you know, the national webinars normally last for an hour. I'm keen, as we all are here today, for member engagement. So just to remind you, there is a question and answer button at the bottom, I think, of your screen. So do feel free to put some comments in there or ask some questions. That's what we're here for. And we'll all introduce ourselves shortly. So welcome everyone to the session today. The people on your screen, including myself, are all members of the Members Advisory Committee, on the basis that we are regional ambassadors, or I've just realised there's been a power cut here. So can you still hear me? Yes. I think it's because I'm not moving. Sorry about that. So basically, we're going to introduce ourselves. This is about us as members talking to you as members. I would hope that obviously a lot of you know us, but hopefully you will do by the end of this session, and also that you come along to regional events. Obviously, bear with us if there is any technical problems, like my lights going out, or if we lose connection, and we will try and rejoin. But please, I do encourage everyone to use the question and answer and/or I think the chat box. And obviously we will keep an eye on it. And I know, obviously, in the background, Jonathan Barber and Tim Pigney have joined us today in the background. But obviously today is about us and you as members. So I'm Ian Hornsey. I chair the Members Advisory Committee, and I have done for the last few years. And in that position, I'm also a member of the IFA Board of Directors. So as you know, the IFA is part of the IPA in Australia, is a global accountancy institute, and the IFA board reports into the IPA board in Australia. We are currently, I think, circa 50,000 members globally in different countries, and that is rising all the time. And this is also, but today is about obviously the IFA specifically, and getting members engaged and involved in the future of the institute. Obviously, I joined the institute a number of years ago, and put my hand up to volunteer to start what was then the Essex branch, when we had branches around the country. That ran successfully for quite a number of years, and obviously we then changed to the regional after COVID hit, because of some branches were low numbers and there wasn't much member engagement. So I'm going to pass over to my colleagues, and I'm going to go to Bill first, if that's all right. Bill, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Ian. It's great to be part of this event today. My name's Bill McGregor. I'm the regional ambassador in Northern Ireland, going into my 12th year of in the role. I have to say, very enjoyable role. I've made great connections through it, and a great bunch of people. I also run my own accountancy practice. Probably we specialize in mainly SME type, family type businesses. We're based in County Down in Northern Ireland, and certainly business is good at the moment.
Thank you, Bill. I think I was going to say, obviously, I'm also in general practice as well. But yes, it's quite a busy time at the moment. I think we would all agree to that, especially with the event next week nearly upon us. So I'm going to pass over to Ermal.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ermal Krutani. I represent the London branch. I am the ambassador for London. I'm also in practice, like Ian. I do work with Ian and Rachel. And like Bill said, we specialise on the SME market, like most of our members do. I have started, like Ian, put my hand up as a volunteer back in 2019, running the Kent branch of the IFA when it was a different format. Then I was assigned to the South of England, and now look after the London branch for the IFA, organising events. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ermal. I'm going to go over to Mujibur.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Lovely to see everybody here. Some of the names that have been popping up on the bottom, I could see, are regular attendees at our local branch. So it's really great to see you again. My name is Mujibur Rahman. I've been a member of the IFA for 10, 11 years now. I've been part of the transition from the old IFA joining the IPA, and that journey has been amazing. I've seen firsthand the developments of the IFA over the last 10 years, and from what it's come to what it is now, and it's just so proud to be a part of that journey. I am representing the Midlands region of the IFA, hosting some of the local events, and looking forward to engaging with you today to encourage more participants in those events and what else we could do, and a brief description about obviously what our role is and what we do and how we can be more involved with you and by representing you with the IFA head office.
Oh, thanks, Mujibur. I am doing it in alphabetical order, so I've worked out Rachel comes before Robin. So Rachel.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I assist Ian with the Eastern region, so I'm Ian's helper. But we've been involved since 2013, running firstly the Essex branch, and then, as Ian said, moving on to the region. And it's great to see so many members participating in our regional events and seeing how we have been able to assist them going forward. Although I'm not an actual regional ambassador, I am actually co-opted onto the MAC, on the Members Advisory Committee, and so I sit there as the Eastern Region representative when Ian is in the chair. So it's good to see you, and I hope you will all participate and have a good afternoon as we go through this.
Thanks, Rachel. And last but not least, Robin.
Thanks, Ian. Robin Murray. I represent the north of England, so we cover from Berwick-upon-Tweed and across the northern England border right down to sort of Cheshire, just south of Sheffield, sort of Chesterfield, some people come up from, and east-west, basically. So it's a big region and quite complicated in that respect, trying to organise meetings that are suitable for everybody and trying to get people and understanding where everybody is living to try and get somewhere that's good for them. So there's that sort of difficulty. I run what I would call a lifestyle accountancy practice, so I don't want to do too much work, but just get enough pennies to get by, basically. Enjoy what I do and enjoy helping people with all sorts.
Thank you, Robin. I mean, obviously, as you'll see, everyone, that most of all of us here at the moment are in practice. But we are always mindful that as a membership organisation, we have members in practice, but also in industry. So we're always looking for volunteers for both sectors because the Institute covers sort of both areas things. So this is all about today getting feedback from you guys. We've already had some questions come through, but we're going to spice it up a little bit. And we've put some polls together. Now, can I just say, when it comes up, we will not know who you are in when you give the answer. So please, we would like you to participate. Nobody's going to come back to you and go, why did you put that answer? Because it's anonymous. So kindly, Hayley, who's who looks after us at the IFA headquarters, is kindly in the background controlling these. So Hayley, can we have the first poll, please?
Hi, Ian. I've lost control of host rights, so it's you who's going to have to launch the poll.
Right.
If you press more down the bottom where the three little dots are, it should come up with polls.
All right. Yeah, just quickly before I do that, and I've just seen a question, and unfortunately that's I apologise, but unfortunately Duncan Walker, who is the Scottish regional ambassador, has had a last minute problem to join us. So unfortunately he will not be here with us today. But we will obviously make sure that any messages regarding Scotland are passed on to him. So sorry, Hayley. So I'm going to go polls.
And
okay.
then
Launch. So, do you know how the Members Advisory Committee and or do you know of the Members Advisory Committee and who sits on the committee? So what we've done is there's 3 questions. Can I just say there is one wrong answer. So as many of you can participate, so we won't know who's saying it. I'll give you a few seconds more. Still going. Interesting. Excellent. Okay, thanks, guys. I think Hayley, we're just being told that you only tick one of the questions, but I think it's more to get the situation over. So obviously we had regional ambassadors. That's absolutely correct. That was the biggest answer. Co-opted members, yes, that's correct. IFA staff is not correct. They are not automatic members of the MAC. It is a members advisory committee, and the IFA staff are invited to sit in the committee meetings from the CEO to Jonathan as executive director. And then obviously from meeting to meeting, we would have different IFA staff members such as Susan from education or Debbie from PR to give us some updates, etc. So I think we were nearly right there. 2 seconds. Lovely. So I've got some questions come through. So I say if you can bear with me, as I've lost Hayley to do this. Yeah, so also Michael Collin is with us today. So Michael is my fellow director on the IFA board. I just wondered, Hayley, could we get Michael on screen? Is that possible so everybody can see Michael? I thought that was maybe going to happen. And Michael comes along to the MAC meetings as well, because obviously the MAC feeds through to the IFA board. And it's nice that you are here, Michael, and I'll get you to introduce yourself shortly. But from a questions point of view, obviously today is about understanding from you what you know about the Institute, how you want to be involved, because my view is for the ones around on the screen today, this is about tomorrow. This is about the future and getting more people involved, and from how we get people to volunteer to help the ambassadors to take over their role at some point, to put themselves forward as a volunteer. And if I use my own situation, my belief is, do you know what? The accountancy profession has done me well, so I wanted to put something back in. Hello, Michael. Excellent. Are you with us? Can't hear you. You can see this is run by members for members, can't you, guys? So, hi, Michael.
I'm unmuted. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Could you just introduce yourself and just say a little bit about what you do and your involvement?
Yeah, very briefly, I was involved with the original IFA Management Committee before the IPA came along. I was invited to join the IPA board to represent the IFA. Subsequently been elected to the IPA board, so I sit on both the group board as well as the IFA board locally. So if anybody is interested, there are elections annually for membership of the IPA board as well. What does it involve? Well, I'm on one of the board committees, so I'll be meeting them next Wednesday night in Australia by Zoom. But on the 23rd of November, I'll be flying out to Australia for 4 days for the board meetings, strategy meeting, and the National Congress. So happy to fill in on any further information that people might want from a group perspective, Ian.
Lovely. Excellent. Thanks, Michael. I'm going to start with, because we had some pre-meeting questions, and I'm going to go in order, basically. I live in mid-Hampshire and would like to attend a regional networking meeting, but find it hard to get to the venue. Do you have plans to hold meetings in other locations in the region? So I'll open it to the floor. Hampshire is obviously in the south. Now, we are looking for an ambassador. Ermal, do you want to come in here?
Yes. Yeah, thank you for that question. So we initially had, like I said, the Kent, then it became the whole region. Obviously, we had more ambassadors, but due to COVID, we had to, the IFA had to restructure the whole regions. Now, when I took over the south of England, with all the, will and wanted to do as well as we did in Kent initially, we tried it in different areas because the idea was to sort of go around the 4 counties and including Hampshire. My thought process was that we'd look at the heat map, which was provided by the Institute staff, and at the time we thought the best thing to do is to go around, let's say at the borders of the M25, South London, because to find a venue that was accessible. So we have travelled, we went to Kingston, that was a good one. We were going to do one in Epsom, but unfortunately it got cancelled due to the Lake Queen's death, and then obviously went back to east on Bexley Heath, which wasn't very well attended. Now, I like the events when they had loads of members, a lot of engagement with professionals, but you got to understand what we do with these events is that we organise when we organise the events, we'll invite other professionals that we associate with the aim to bring more knowledge and more to make the meeting more interesting and a networking event as well. The last one we did in Bexley Heath, we only had about 5 members, therefore obviously the opportunity presented for myself to go and be ambassador in the London branch, because Ian Clark, that was at that time, decided that he wanted to retire. of course, now we've got a gap on the south of England and we don't have anything in there, which then it will go back to the other questions, whether somebody will put their hand up. And I think that was one of the questions, Ian, that said that can we do, I'm interested in becoming a regional ambassador. What would be my commitment and for how long? Well, first of all, where do you live? If you live in the south of England, it's great. That's music to all of our areas, because we would like to have representation in the south of England. At the moment, there's none. And we do this, like Ian said, we do this because we love to give something back to the profession. We like to sort of help other members gaining knowledge, because at the end of the day, this is about understanding what's out there, getting a CPD for your practice certificates when you do the renewal, but also understanding not only what goes on in the accountancy profession, but all other professions. Like we do invite likes of financial advisors, some of them, like Mattioli Woods, are strategic partners of the IFA. We tend to get solicitors, bank managers, everything that evolves around the accountancy profession, just to make it a bit more interesting. And of course, to gain more knowledge. The Mid Hampshire situation, obviously we're in South Bank University of London. So obviously there's trains that run through that. There is a bit of a journey, and as you will see, obviously, and you have got question 7, that they do talk around the same issue. How do we get to branch meeting when I live, comfortably in my 50 acres house, but there's nothing around me? I mean, unfortunately, we'd have to what the idea was to put these events where most of the members are. But not to say that we don't want to expand on that, but obviously it has to make sense for most members to put a meeting or an event around where most of you are. If anybody, last meeting we had in London, there was someone that approached me and said, well, I live near Crawley. I'd like to restart the Crawley branch, or let's call it the South of England branch. And I think I put him in touch with Jonathan, and there's things progressing there. But yeah, we do need more, like everybody said, particularly Mujibur, that we do need to have engagement from you. The questions are brilliant, because obviously then we can concentrate, then we understand what is it that you're asking, what is it that you want from the institute. Without questions, we don't know, we're a bit lost. We're only putting the events together, and there's maybe it is, maybe it isn't good for you, or what you're looking for from the institute's point of view. So yeah, I mean, go on.
Sorry, Emma. Yeah, thank you. And I think you've got that over really well. I think, this is a two-way thing that, obviously from an institute point of view, for us as volunteers, obviously we want support from our fellow colleagues, our fellow members. And over the years, some of the branches, when we had 17 around the country, really, really struggled, because not just about the cost of putting an event on, but also, and I'm going to say, the embarrassment when you organise a speaker and not many members turn up. And I think, something had to change. Now, obviously, I would love every area, even every county, to have a branch. That'd be fantastic. But we can only do it with the support of our membership. And that's a difficult one. And one of the questions I'm going to ask you later will give us some idea of what you guys think about putting events on. But at the moment, the regional framework seems to work. Yes, there is more distance. And, we are looking for at the moment 2 ambassadors, one in the south of England and one in the southwest. And I lead on to my next question. You know, the question came through, I'm interested in becoming a regional ambassador. What would be my commitment and for how long? Now, I will open it up to the floor, but just quickly, we have an IFA board meeting next week, and part of that on the agenda is putting in a new regime to vote in the regional ambassadors for a period of 2 years. One, because I think it raises the game, I think it's about, you know, for us around here today, it is not our God-given right to be there all the time. This is a member organisation. We want new members. We want new blood to come through. But remember, sorry guys, I've got an automatic light. So it's just gone off. So it is about people believing that they could do it and having the time to commit to it. And that is an unopened question. And I'm going to pass maybe over to, let's say, Mujibur. What have you got? You know, your experience as being an ambassador.
I think being an ambassador, we have a good network with some members. Unfortunately, it's like you said, Ian, the engagement seems to be from one particular group. You know, when we look at the overall number of members that we have in the Midlands, it's a very, very small proportion. And often we have questions, why isn't the IFA doing this? Or why can't we have this? But we don't know what these questions are unless you engage with us. Yes, you know, we sit on the MAC board, and, you know, we sit down and have these meetings, and we could discuss these issues that members have with the management between us. But we need that engagement. What I like to see is having the IFA more represented within the region, not just with IFA. It's like I attend some meetings that are hosted by other professionals, and you know, I go there with my IFA hat on because I want to have that connection and invite them to our regional meetings. And I think as professionals, we need to expand our network beyond our own profession, because we often work with financial advisors, solicitors, you know, bank managers. So I think it's important to have that reach, and having the IFA hat on, I think it's important to get that brand awareness more out there.
Yeah. Well done, Magic. I'm going to just because obviously this is about the MAC as well, and as you can see, obviously we are members of the MAC, the Members Advisory, and really get over the message about, well, what does that mean? What does the MAC mean, basically? So I'm going to do another little poll. Bear a sec. Polls. Number 4. So the question here is, what is the MAC's role? Now, I apologise if you can only tick one, but again, there is one wrong answer in here. So A is strategic thinking, overseeing the IFA team, discussing and arranging regional events, and member engagement. So again, I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Fantastic. As I say, we don't know what answer you're giving, so fantastic. So basically, the wrong answer is overseeing the IFA team. This is about strategic thinking, about where the institute is going, where we as members want it to go. Obviously, part of that is the events that we put on as regional ambassadors. So it sort of helps part of that structure. And that, more important, member engagement. And probably the answer that we haven't got on there is, you know, this is about share results, because I think you can all see that. This is about, obviously, getting our message across as members, so you to us and us to the staff of the IFA, i.e. from the CEO, Andrew, to Jonathan as the executive director, of the problems. It's not all about problems, because we have to be positive as well. About where we want the Institute to go. And that's why I think it's important, like Mujibur said, is, we need to hear from you. We are all readily available, and whether it's us or somebody else in the future, that's our role to get that message across. What I like personally is the IFA is still at a size, we always want to grow members. I think the Institute is great, and I think it's very appropriate for that SMP, that small, medium practice, as well as people in industry, because you can ring up the office, you can ring Jonathan directly, you can ring Tim, and get help. And I think that's really important. But it's also the strategic situation of where do we want to be, and we need to hear from you about that. So again, I'm going to just pass out. Bill, have you got a comment?
Thanks, Ian. No, I think certainly, one thing I would also get out of the MAC meeting, sometimes in our region, Northern Ireland, we can feel a bit cut off from, kind of possibly mainland. So it's great for me to hear what's going on in other parts of the country, and you always imagine people are doing things differently or better than you, and it's I think it's all about those connections as well.
Thank you, Bill. I'm going to go on to another question and I'm watching the Q&A box as well, and hopefully you're all seeing it, because there's some interesting comments and information on there, especially about CPD, etc. And we'll come on to that in a little while. The role of an ambassador, how much time does it take up? And I think we've sort of gone round that, because I think it is all about how much time you want to put in. But I'm a great believer that if you volunteer for something, you have to volunteer properly, and you take on that commitment, and whether you get paid for it or not. And what support do the IFA HQ provide? Now, again, my view, and maybe I'll pass over to Robin this time. Can I pass you to Robin, and you tell the guys how much support you get from the IFA?
Well, on an individual person in running the practice, then there's a lot. We created what was originally in the Leeds branch, WhatsApp group for meeting up after the events, the branch meeting event, to go for a meal, and that's developed and gone to where we've had quite a bit of activity this week on it in terms of questions and answers. But hopefully we've got the My Community coming in, and that is also a similar forum for that, and we may see that one drops out and the other takes over, hopefully. In terms of sort of coming onto the MAC, it sort of helped in terms of my own professional thought processes, in that I felt I needed to perhaps be better than I was, because you've got to lead by example, so you tend to perhaps I do more CPD than I would have ever done if I was just a normal member, because we only have 40 hours, and we're doing, I think I'm up around 120, 150 hours this year. So there is sort of by being putting yourself above the parapet, so to speak. You do need to make sure that you want to be a person who can't be shot at, even because you've done everything right. So there is that angle. going back to when I took over, when it was just the Leeds branch, we did have a committee and it ran quite smoothly. We would meet, there was 6 of us on the committee. It ran, we had 1 or 2 meetings a year, one at the beginning of the, one sort of late autumn, planned the dates and the speaking program that we were going to do. That sort of fell by the wayside with the change of the region into this bigger region, and we do need to look at how we do that, perhaps with reintroducing something, or introducing a couple of 2 or 3 sort of committees, because I do feel that the north east sort of Newcastle area, I know there's not many, there's maybe about 40 members, I think, in total up that area. Going right down to maybe Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough does sometimes come down to the Leeds meetings. So, but whether we should have something that we tried a meeting in there, we got 3 members, so it was quite difficult, and it was disheartening as an ambassador. So, and then we tried another one to try and get both sort of Sheffield and Leeds meeting together. We chose a venue that I thought was a midpoint between the 2, and I think we got 14 to that. Prior to COVID, we were around 35, 40 attending meetings. So the meetings that we've held in Manchester have done very well. I know we've only held 1 a year so far, but we've thanks to Kyle coming on board as a staff officer and helping out, we've now got the programme of dates at least set up for next year. So there'd be 3 in sort of the Yorkshire area and 3 in the Manchester area. And then, of course, we've got the MAC meeting to attend.
One of the questions, Robin, was actually just come through is how many MAC meetings a year would you have to attend as a regional ambassador, and where are they held? Now,
I've just got 6 there.
Yeah. So currently we would look to hold 4, at least 3, but potentially 4, 1 a quarter. And what we have recently agreed is to move them around the country as much as we can. So, for instance, it's also about where maybe the annual conference is. Obviously, London, the HQ, obviously, because we can use the boardroom there is no cost to it. We're always conscious that, obviously, when we hire events or where we hire places to put on events, such as regional meetings, there is a cost to it. So I'm always, and my colleagues are always mindful that we need people to attend, but also we don't want to incur costs because we're spending members' money unnecessarily. So 3 or 4 meetings a year. Is there a minimum number of regional meetings you have to hold? So again, from a regional point of view, a bit like the branches when we used to have them, we are looking at 3 to 4 per annum. Obviously, summer we always try to take a break because people, and of course we avoid January because of obvious reasons. So it's then about fitting, and each ambassador, it's their decision where they hold them and how many times they hold them. Things. I'm going to pass over to Rachel because, again, from an Eastern region, because one of the questions we had was somebody has moved to Peterborough and was previously in London. And I think, Rachel, you may have mentioned it about moving Eastern region around and the heat map that we have with members. Can I get you to comment on that?
Yeah, thanks, Ian. So I think when we changed to the regional style of meetings, we definitely looked to host in the various areas so that we would cover sort of Cambridgeshire, Suffolk. I'm not very good with my geography, but Essex, Norfolk.
Yeah.
And we are conscious that obviously when you have a larger region and you've got people who are perhaps more on the edge of that region, travelling is not always easy. We're not all blessed with fantastic road networks or train connections, and also it takes time as well for people to sort of leave their practices if they're busy, if they're sole traders, etc. So we did move around, and we did try going to Cambridge, and unfortunately it wasn't as well attended again as we would have liked, and we moved sort of to another area, and for us it has felt that Brentwood has been the best place for the moment for us to hold our regional events. That's not to say that we couldn't consider that again in the future, but it is about members not just signing up. It's very easy to sign up and say that you will attend, but sometimes it is about making sure that you actually do come along. As everyone has said, the regional meetings gives you such a great opportunity to meet other members who perhaps are going through similar issues or problems maybe that you can talk and meet with and discuss with. All our meetings, people will come away and go, fantastic, we learned something today, whether it was speaking to our professionals who are there, whether it was from those who are presenting the CPD, or whether it was just talking a problem over with a fellow member. And that's vital, especially in this age, because we all know the accountancy world is changing rapidly and we need to keep up to date with it. So I'm always one for moving. I'm quite happy to travel, move around and see what we can do. If we can guarantee that members would be in attendance, then we could do that. But there is other, that's probably that is the most important thing, to host them, but to have you coming along. Does that help, Ian?
That's fantastic. So obviously one of the questions is, do the IFA team come to meetings to help support? Yes, they do. And we're very thankful for that. From Jonathan to Tim to some of the other senior guys at the Institute, to the BD team that we probably all know, Paul, Alan, Gavin. So again, obviously from an ambassador point of view, we encourage the staff to come along and participate in the meeting as well. I noticed there's a question on the chat box. Do you have MAC meetings separate to branch meetings, and are they Zoom, in person, or both? So basically the MAC is a committee, members advisory committee, which sits 3 to 4 times a year. My view is we try and do it in person because I think you get more out of it, but we all live in the modern world like we are today. So occasionally we will do it on Zoom. And it is about obviously being invited to it or being voted on to it. And as a regional ambassador, you receive a place on the MAC. So from the point of view of where does it start, what we're trying to do today is to encourage members to get involved in their regions by helping the current ambassador, because obviously we want people to be keen, excited to put themselves forward. So when the new systems of nominations come in, then they can nominate themselves as a regional ambassador, which then gives them the position on the members advisory committee. So just quickly, I'm just going to do another poll. A second. I think I've got to share the previous results. Stop sharing. Hayley, I might need your help.
What number poll would you like to launch?
I would like to launch number 5, please. So we've been talking about regional meetings, and as ambassadors and members of the, and I see you've already started, would members be willing to attend a face-to-face event such as a regional meeting and pay for it? And it's been a debate that we've had for quite a few years now about whether that would be the case. So your answers are very important. And I think, obviously the regional meetings are about networking as well as CPD. And I think from when we originally set up the regional meetings and it was purely networking, we have learned from that and said it needs to be a mixture of somebody giving you some education, some CPD, even though I believe networking in itself, by talking to fellow colleagues and members and other professionals, in itself is CPD. So it'll be interesting to see this result. I know Jonathan will be looking at it with interest, and I think he might be on a train somewhere. Has everybody done it? It's not quite like a Brexit result. We have 57% yes and 43% no. So that's really interesting. And I think that gives us a good idea of where we may want to go. Because again, like Rachel said, it is soul destroying sometimes when you set up, you spend all the time in putting something on, people register. And for instance, today, I think it's great that 92 people are in this meeting, but 248 registered. And that's the problem we have, guys. So if you do know other members, please encourage them to take part, to be involved. It's our institute, basically. So one of the questions we had prior to the meeting was, I understand regional meetings are now a mixture of learning and networking, which I think is a good idea. But could the institute put on a session about how to network? Ermal.
Yeah, your lights are out again.
Oh, no, sorry.
That's okay. So I just wanted to go back a step, Ian, just to sort of the questions about what entails the whole role of ambassador, and then go back to the questions that was just answered. We myself and such as you and all the others, we've had help from the institute, but we tend to sort of put time and effort to put these meetings together. I'm lucky that our venue is fixed, and we are agreeing with the South Bank University, London South Bank University, to be held there all the time. It's such a great venue, good access with trains. But in the previous, when I had the previous regions, we had to move about. So what I had to do is I had to ring. I've got a good contact with Metro Bank, and I had to sort of liaise with the director of what they call it, stores, and find a suitable time and date to put that event. Now, obviously, we were lucky in that event, in that contest, but the idea is maybe in the future, if the events that we want to put on will be at a different location, we don't have the help and support of the local bank or any other of our associates, we will have to pay for it. And as you know, as accountants advising to your clients, the money has to come from somewhere, and if it comes from the membership, then it potentially could be charged. One of the comments especially from Cavan, to say that another body, NWLCA, I don't know what that is, but within on the yearly subscription, we'll put a payment of £160 for X amount of networking events. Now, going back to the how to network, to the question that Ian asked, we have put a session in the London branch back in June, I think it was. We brought in Charlie that does network. It teaches people that can't do networking for non-networkers. So yes, we can put sessions like that. We have done in the past, especially in London. But again, it's crucial that those people, those professionals, will attend a well-attended branch network. Otherwise, it might come to somewhat of a disappointment to them that it's only like 6 members there, and it kind of doesn't work for them. So, you know, we need to sort of have a bit more participation in the branch networking ourselves. So how to network? First of all, to network, and I hope that you all agree, to network, you need to participate at an event like today, you know, well attended. And of course, you know, you need to start talking to people. In London, we've experimented loads of things. We have got like tables around the room. There's a few tables, and we're trying to get people engaged. So I have, let's say, 2 or 3 speakers during the event, and within the presentation that they do for CPD, we'll try to get members engaged in the round table. So that's one way how to network. We've done it. I'm sure, you know, around the other branches have done the same thing. You know, the whole idea of branch meeting is for people to network, and that's why it's called networking event. So hope that answers the question.
No, thank you, Ermal. I'm going to do another quick poll. We'll get used to this. Sorry, Hayley. Could you put up number 2 for me? Is that possible? Now, obviously, you've met us all today, but just think about this before the meeting. Do you know your regional ambassador?
I hope it's all good. It's all yes.
Interesting. So at the moment, are we all done? And poll 53% yes, 47% or 48% no. So I'm going to end that there. There we go. So okay. So half and half, I would say. Again, all I can say is, obviously, our details are on the website. Normally, their details are in the IFA magazine, and obviously the regional events. So again, we can, you know, we want members to talk to us. You know, although we know, you know, as members ourselves, and whether we're in practice or in industry, what's going on, we want to hear from you guys about, and it doesn't always have to be problems, but again, we're here to help. I will guide you. I will pass it on to the Institute, and in particular up to the board. Michael, are you with us?
He has had to leave for...
Yes, I am here.
Good. One of the questions, and I know there's been lots of debates since the amalgamation, and there's been debate on my community. But because a member has asked a question, I'm not going to ignore it. Could we please have an update on where the Institute is with applying for charter status? And I thought you were ideal, Michael, to answer that one.
Thank you, yes. The decision has been taken, and it's been reported on the community as well, that it is not cost effective to do it at the present time because of it is significant cost, and it is a very small number of non-UK residents who are enthusiastic about the charter status. The resources of the IPA group are being focused on things like education and promotion of our services, as well as CPD. And so for the time being, the application for charter is not being pursued.
Thank you, Michael. I would add my comment to that I agree with that situation. I believe from the IFA point of view, we have good standing. There is always more to do, but for the last 5 years, we have moved tremendously in the right direction. In practice, I could count on one hand in 30 years how many times I've been asked whether I'm a chartered accountant, and we now run quite a sizable practice looking after our clients, and I believe I'm as good as anybody else, and I think all of us should take that attitude. But it doesn't mean it's never, from an IPA board downwards, we look at tomorrow and see what changes and things. But again, it's good to have feedback, whether it's negative or positive, and things. And again, this is all about getting over to you guys about being involved, being that next generation of people wanting to put their hand over the parapet and go, yes, I'll volunteer, and things. I'm conscious of time. Hayley, if we have our last poll, I think they're quite good because I think it gives us a bit of idea instead of somebody trying to put their hand up with a question. Now, please be truthful. When have you attended a regional meeting? The last 6 months, last 12 months, last 24 months? Never. Interesting. Quite a mixed. In the last 6 months, slightly. Has everybody done it? Let me end poll. 36%. So 36% in the last 6 months, which is fantastic. The only problem with that, of course, is that those who do attend events and attend meetings like this are the good ones. Not sure about the ones that say never, but I don't know who you are. But again, if you do know other members, this is about getting them involved, encouraging them to come along to the regional events because they're put on for all members. And one of the questions I had was, as a member, can we invite non-members and other business professionals? Absolutely. And I take on board a couple of the comments in the chat box about charging. We do not want to put people off. We want people to be engaged. We want people to come along. But we also want people not to sign up to they say they're coming and then don't turn up, because that's unfair to the organizer and the cost to the institute. So I think that's the message. I'm going to go round just the token. I'm just conscious of a couple more minutes. Mujibur, can I come to you for your final comments?
Yeah, I think it was really, really insightful to see that, and especially the last one. But I think we also have to remember the people that are on here are the ones that are usually attending. So thank you to everyone who does attend. Please be proactive and spread the word to other fellow members. In the Midlands, we've got our 21st of November is our next meeting at Birmingham City University. Please, if you haven't signed up again, do attend. We want to have a good turnout. We're moving to central Birmingham from Solihull. Hopefully, we'll encourage more to attend. It was great, Ian. I absolutely enjoyed it today. Thank you.
Like to make a final comment? You're on mute. Have I lost you? Oh, no. Are you with us?
Sorry, was that me?
Yes, sorry. Do you want to make a final comment about today?
I think it's been useful. I find most things that we actually do useful for everybody when we get around to it. And to a certain extent, the thing about attending, you pay a membership fee, and the expenditure is that to get something out of it. You've actually got to go to these things, go to the branch meetings to get your benefit back.
So thank you, Bill.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting, Ian. I think even that last poll, to see that there was almost 50% of people who hadn't been to a meeting in the last 2 years. So to definitely encourage everyone to try and bring a guest along. The more people that get involved, the more we can raise the bar.
Absolutely, Ermal.
Yeah, no, it was great, and a lot of comments I can see here. A lot of people found it useful. Of course, you now I hope that you now know who your regional ambassador is, and I hope to see a lot of you back into, especially my branch in London or wherever you are. These are great events. It's a great way to interact with other fellow accountants to understand what goes on and share some of the issues that we're all facing. But I hope it's a start. It's a start of for the future to sort of get these meetings on a regular basis. So then we can answer more questions. But appreciate limited time. But thank you to everyone who participated and engaged.
Sure.
I think my final comment would be in that you get out what you put in. And if you get involved, you will be amazed how much you will then get out of being involved with the IFA. You will learn so much, and you will really feel that you are part of a members' institute. It's your institute, so put in and you will gain more actually than you put in. That would be my final comment.
Rachel, and I think hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. You take something away. We will certainly do more of these. I think it's been really useful. I like to see the comments in the chat box and the questions. And again, our contact details are on the website. We're here to help. We're here to help each other, basically. And I know it's a difficult world out there at the moment for all sorts of reasons. We have a budget next week, which I think is keeping us all busy. I know the Institute is pushing on a national webinar, plus obviously the regional meetings where there will be budget updates as well. So please look out for it. Use the website and get involved. And anybody that wants to talk to us individually, please contact us and we'll be happy to have a chat and tell you more about it. So thank you for your time today and for joining us, and hope to see you all soon at a regional meeting. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for my colleagues in helping me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.